nights and endless chats. We're taking turns with heartfelt laughs. Yeah, it's a world where secrets spill. Best friends ride on every thrill. From late night talks to morning cheers, we got each other year after year. Girl, did you hear that wild thing? We got stories that'll make you sing. From heartbreaks to dreams so clear. It's the podcast song for friends who cheer.
When I was in college, we had to like
Wikipedia was just a baby.
we couldn't use Wikipedia. I have a problem.
She's like, sometimes I use my tone.
Sometimes I have a bad problem with tone as well.
Same. You're victimized by people's lack of common sense.
It's horrible, dude.
Family just died. You think I'm listening to some skinny salesman about some maintenance? Get fluffed. I don't think so.
Get fluffed.
Hey guys, welcome to Girl Did You Hear? I'm Jessica.
And I'm Kristen.
And thanks for joining us on our Ultimate Bestie Hangout. Today, we are going to be starting with what have you noticed has gradually disappeared over the last, say, 10 years that you don't think people are really noticing?
That's an interesting topic.
I know, right?
You sent me a Reddit thread about that, actually. And I was like, that's actually a really interesting thought. Cause I never, you don't think about stuff like that, really.
Not at all.
And did you read through the thread at all?
I did. Well, I got a good way through it. And then I started coming up with my own stuff.
All right. I want to hear what you have to say first.
Well, all right. So one of the things that I noticed is, how do I put it? You're not able to get something. They don't build them like they used to.
Yes,
The
like quality.
The way that things are built to last nowadays, I just planned obsolescence.
Yeah.
Is not something that used to be around a while ago, but is like here today. Like, I mean, that's the whole reason why they're pushing out brand new phones every year.
Yep.
They use the software to brick your old phone so that you have to upgrade.
Yes.
And it's frustrating. It's I mean, I get it. It's how we make money, but man, they just don't build it like they used to.
No, they don't. And something that I saw in the thread that was interesting was someone had said that like the mid-career jobs are not really like there as much anymore.
What is that?
And I was like, ooh, that's a good one. Like that transitional like job, right? Like your early adult jobs that you have before you kind of like land into like your career.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Like, McDonald's or retail stores or wherever you're working, to kind of like navigate, through college or whatever in your early 20s,
Right.
In that time frame as you're kind of like figuring out where you're going to go in life.
I see
You're
what
kind
you're
of
saying.
working
Right.
these like transitional jobs. I mean, in my opinion,
Yeah.
and that kind of seems to be non-existent because a lot of those jobs at that time, 10 years ago, typically paid much less.
Right.
Because they were
Transitional
jobs.
Right.
They were not meant to be a career.
Or those jobs weren't meant to sustain households.
Correct.
Right.
Like that was, for the teenagers or for people that needed to make extra money, a
Right.
part-time job
Right.
or, maybe, those types of places were a lot more like open to people that have like criminal backgrounds, for example.
Right.
So like they would still have an opportunity to make money,
Right.
Whatever. But like that was something I thought was interesting in that thread. I wanted to see like what other people's were kind of, because I was like, damn, that's a good question. I didn't really know off the top of my head. I had to like think about it for a minute.
Right.
What did yours end up being?
Like, I went down the quality loophole, like the quality of clothes.
Yeah,
That's
a huge
are
one.
you kidding me? We were just talking about this with like Shein and H&M and Forever 21 and all
Which
of
they
those
actually
clothing
just
brands.
they closed.
Did they?
Yeah, like
Wah,
they
wah.
didn't find a buyer.
They didn't get it. I'm sorry. But
Whoopsies.
like, I mean, whenever I go thrifting, that's one of the things I look for. I flip over that tag and I'm trying to see what this is made out of. Is this going to fall apart in the wash on me? How do I have to wash the freaking thing?
What
is this made
what is it
out
that
of?
you actually look for?
I
'Cause
look for
people
cotton.
might not know.
I look for a lot of like cotton wool blends. I
Okay.
look for a lot of brands that are made either with integrity or out of great products.
Like Levi or whatever.
Yeah, stuff that you know is kind of built to last.
Mhm.
I mean, the thrift is tricky because you have to be able to pick. You have to be smart about what you're picking because you do see a lot of stuff from like Shein, Walmart,
Mhm.
Target in the thrift. And that's honestly the bulk of it. And you have to
Yeah.
weed through all of that in order to get to those little gems.
To find that one Nike hoodie.
Dude, the scores are so great. Like
They are,
you
though.
feel so amazing when you do, but you can just see how stuff is deteriorated over time. And it's nice to find that stuff from like the 80s and 90s still intact. You're like, wow,
And it's like
dude.
solid.
Like that
still.
hardcore leather jacket that you can tell has just been worn and
Yes.
loved. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, leather is a good product to use because nothing's made with good leather anymore.
Nothing I don't think is made with like good
like
leather.
genuine product.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Like everything, I get it. Everything is a manufactured product and we're all wearing plastic pants. But like
Plastic pants, yes.
and by that I just mean like, you
No,
know, the stuff like leggings are
but
made out of
for
and
real,
like
there
polyester and
is
stuff like that.
actual-
It's like, when's the last time you put on something that was 100% cotton? I know nothing I have on today right now is 100% cotton.
I don't think so. I don't
I
know.
mean, anything is a blend.
Maybe my socks.
Yeah, probably
But
those.
it's probably a blend of some sort.
Because that right. So it's tough. The era of the 5,000. Yeah, right. That's how much it costs now. But the $500 beater car.
Ooh,
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That entry level, hey, I just need to get around shit box.
Yes.
That was like the mechanic special. I just need something real quick.
You could 100%.
And it was like anywhere
for that
between
amount.
$500 and $1,000, and you had a decent car.
Yeah.
Granted, you had to put some money into it, but it was running.
It was still able to get you to and from if something happened to your car and you really just needed to get a vehicle right away.
Right. You could.
You could.
You
now,
can't now. No, ma'am.
The minimum you're gonna need to get is like $3,500.
$3,500 is the cheap, and because that's the only thing that you can get that's running.
And you're gonna be looking for a minute too.
Yeah.
And because we just went through this with Jaden, and we had to look for a minute. We found the gem, but you guys have to be patient.
Yeah,
and
that's
wait
fair.
and wait and wait. Something for me switching gears on the topics was more on the lines of like consideration and like manners and politeness
Etiquette.
among people.
Yeah.
I think has deteriorated a lot over the last 10 years. And what actually made me think of that was I was at the dollar store the other day,
Mhm.
and there was a lady, there's an older woman coming in as I was walking out.
Right.
And I could have easily walked out and there was enough of a gap that it wouldn't have been rude of me not to have held the door for her,
Mhm.
right? But I decided to hold the door for her and wait those extra 3 steps, because I
Yeah.
was like, I'm just going to do whatever. Like I just did, right?
Yeah, it's not gonna hurt you to hang
Yeah.
out for a second.
And she was like surprised.
It's like, oh my god.
She was like, "Oh, thank you so much." And I was
Right.
like, "Yeah, of course. Have a great day." And I was like, do people not do that as much anymore?
Mm-mm.
And then I started thinking and I was like they don't. Like there's not a lot of like consideration for people, whether you know them or whether they're strangers like in the world, or like when you're just out interacting with people, like there's just not a lot of mannerisms
Mm-mm.
or like human decency
no.
anymore.
No.
Like in comparison from 10 years to now is a drastic change. And it's like, it's sad in a way. Cause I'm like, what
has changed?
what
it?
has changed it?
Right. What dropped?
Because I don't feel that like my manners or my politeness towards people has changed in the last 10 years. It's
Mhm.
probably gotten better. You know what I mean? Like
right.
more.
Because you're seeing a problem and you're forcing a change. Right.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. That was just something that was what I thought
Well,
of on
that's
that.
tough because you see, like, it really makes me, because I see it all over the place. And
Yeah.
I really think back to even as in a shorter time span when we were all scared of each other during 2020. Because that, like,
Yeah.
little 5-year anniversary, that's just peeked its head around the corner.
I know.
And when nobody wanted to do anything with anybody, like, they didn't want to touch anybody,
Nope.
they didn't want eye contact with anybody, they didn't want to see each other's mouths. I get it. The masks were what they were,
They're
for
like,
what they
"Get-"
were.
Yeah.
But
Get
like
away.
everybody just got hella antisocial, and they're like, we can't hang out, we can't have social gatherings, we can't do all this stuff because we're scared, right? And I
Right.
think we're all still kind of a little scared, but like, I don't understand where the breakdown in just being nice.
Yeah, but like, where, okay, I can understand people being scared because that's what the controllers,
Right.
I refer to them as the controllers.
Well, and also, I
That's
mean,
what they
it's a
wanted.
new thing. No
Yeah.
one knows much about it. So it is kind of scary. There is something to that. I understand.
Yeah, totally. I get that. But that doesn't mean you have to not be nice
No, but that's
or have consideration for other
Yeah.
people, whether they're friends, family, strangers, you
Right,
know?
right.
Like, it's not that difficult to just be nice.
right.
Like, I took my mother-in-law to the doctor the other day.
Okay.
And the lady was checking us in, and she was asking for her insurance card, you know, and she was trying to like get it out of her thing or whatever. And she goes to hand it to the lady, and Trevor's mom didn't take like the activation thing off like her new insurance card,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and she didn't take it off, so she's like handed it, whatever. And the lady was like, "I'm gonna need you to take this off or activate it."
Oh,
And like the
Ew.
tone.
yeah. Excuse me.
And I was like, I like snatched it from her, and I was like, yeah, I took off the freaking paper, and I was like, here you go. It's freaking activated,
for the
like-
inconvenience.
But like, just like very little things like that.
Well, and that's the hard
It's
part
just
is
like-
because she doesn't know the story. Maybe your mother-in-law's got really bad arthritis and she can't grip that fucking sticker to pull it off the
But
card.
like,
you know
why
what
do
I'm
you have
saying?
to have that
Like, why you
type
gotta
of
be a bitch about it?
tone?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like a huge person with tone, and I know I have a problem. I
She's
have a
like,
problem.
sometimes I use my tone.
Sometimes I have a bad problem with tone as
Yeah,
well.
Same.
You know, and
Mhm.
I know that about myself, and I try to be very aware about it. But I also get
I'm
like
sensitive to it
am
too.
very sensitive to it, and I
Mhm.
don't know like where it comes from.
Same. So same.
But yeah, like if someone has like a tone, I'm like, it like
Ooh.
switches something in me,
like
and
raises
it
a
will either
little
make me
radar.
angry
Yeah,
or it
yeah.
will make me cry. One of the
Same,
two.
same. Well, I mean, because I've been told my entire life, I thought my middle name was Watch Your Tone. No, I'm just kidding. But the, I mean,
I
I'm
think
the
it's
same
because, like,
way.
When I was growing up, I had a mouth on me. I was always like talking back, you know, like
Yeah.
kids do, whatever. Like I was not an
exploring your
easy
world.
kid. I was challenging in some aspects for
Right,
sure, you
right.
know. But I definitely had a mouth on me, and like my dad would always tell me that, like, you have a mouth on you. You need to keep that under control. You know, like watch your tone.
Watch your tone.
He would always tell me that.
Yeah.
Watch your tone when you're speaking to me. You know, and so like. It must be something like that.
Well,
Thanks,
yeah,
Dad.
because you were told to watch your tone, and now you won't let anybody else get away with not watching their
know.
tone. No, ma'am. You also will watch your tone.
Yes. Everybody needs to watch their tone.
That's it.
I did ask the kids upstairs
Yeah.
what
I'm
they thought.
curious.
And one of them said common sense.
Interesting. Common sense ain't so common anymore.
Yeah, but I feel like that's always been a thing.
But
Like I remember hearing that like in my early 20s. Like I remember bitching to my dad about people not having common sense and him telling me that exact statement
that's fair.
like many years ago, you know?
I guess is common sense perspective then?
I don't know. That's an interesting perspective. But is it? Is it is common sense just a different perspective that someone has?
It is. It
It
is because
has to
what's common
be.
sense to you is probably not common sense to someone who doesn't live in your social gatherings or your current
view-
environment
Yeah.
or religion status or da 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 da. You could fill in the requirements of like where what is common to you isn't common to them, and they're only 2 states away.
Right.
You know,
But so I thought that was an interesting one
that is a good one.
because I mean it's relatable for sure.
Absolutely, because I feel that way all the time.
oh yeah,
I feel victimized by people's lack of common sense.
it's horrible, dude. But like, okay, there are some things that are like legit common sense where I'm like, how do you not?
For example,
I can't think of one at this moment,
fair enough.
but I will think of one, and I'll let you know.
Well, okay, common sense. Do you think common sense is holding a door open for the old lady at the dollar store, or do you think that's just etiquette?
I think that's more etiquette, and like,
So common sense is something like smart that you should be doing to not inconvenience others. Like, what is common sense?
dun, dun, dun.
Dun dun dun. That's hard.
That is hard to break that down.
Because you think of you think of the situation that you're in where you're chatting up someone's common sense and you're like, well, I wish they had more common sense about that.
Right.
But then again,
Like, I am like mind blanking right now so hard. I'm like, I cannot think of anything that to
well, of
like
course
give an
this-
example.
This was the kids' idea, so they probably had a few off the top of their head.
Yeah, totally.
But the common sense is a weird one for me. It's come up a lot in my life most recently, where a lot of people have been chatting up like the lack of common sense.
Yeah. Okay. Here's one auto
she got it.
industry related.
There we go.
Okay. So, once upon a time, a lady brought their car in for service. It was a new Subaru Impreza, and it had about 18,000 miles on it. And she brought it in for her first oil change.
Okay.
It wasn't just that she needed an oil change. Because she had waited that long and had done nothing to it, she had no oil in her car. And so she actually needed an engine.
That one's fun.
Yeah. And to me, it's common sense to get your oil change done every 3,000 to 5,000 miles.
Right.
Or once a year at minimum,
Right.
depending on your driving habits or the type of vehicle or whatever.
Right.
But like little things like that are common sense to me.
So I'm that lady.
Yes.
My father, my brother, and my husband
All
were all
just-
killed in a tragic skiing accident. And they were the ones that always took care of my car. This is the first time I've ever had a new car because they crashed my car up in the mountains. That's what happened. They all
Oh,
perished. Right?
okay.
They're gone. So
All
this
right.
is my new car.
Yeah.
I have never maintained
She got
the
she
car.
got the new car with the inheritance money.
Right, right.
From dad
See, my new
and
Impreza.
uncles.
Right, and my brother. All the people who maintained my cars had fun skiing, couldn't come back down to fix my cars. So anyways, I got a new car, and I don't know these things. I don't know how this works. I understand where the gas goes, but that is the extent of my automotive knowledge. Because my brother and my dad and my husband were the ones that always told me or always took my car keys to go get the oil change. They were always the
Yeah.
one that took the keys to go get the tires rotated and the air topped off.
To do all the
and
things.
to shut the lights off on the dash. And so
But when
I
you-
had no confidence or understanding as to what driving my car meant or the responsibility of it. So therefore, that sense isn't common to me. I only know where the gas goes.
Yeah. And then I'm like, you're an idiot.
You're an well, kind of, but like I also feel like you're an idiot too, Jess. But like that's only because we were rooted in the automotive industry
Yeah.
we were in,
For
like,
sure.
because that's common
But-
to us.
On the flip side of that scenario,
Mhm.
Miss Customer, your salesman, I'm sure, informed you many times on when the vehicle needed to come in for service because the new cars actually needed to come in at 1,000 miles for the break-in oil change.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? My whole family just died. You think I'm listening to some skinny salesman about some maintenance? Get fluffed. I don't think
Get
so.
fluffed. Oh my God, that's so funny. That was a great reenactment of actual customer experience. Oh man, my PTSD from
Yeah,
that place.
right.
I'm just kidding.
No joke. Yeah, no joke.
No, but
though.
like there were a lot of things in the automotive industry that to me were common sense.
felt like should be common knowledge.
Yes,
Yeah.
that were not common knowledge to other people. And I know, like, I logically know.
Like when your car's making a
That-
horrible noise, why don't you stop? And they're like, well, because I needed to get to where I was going.
Right.
You're like, that's not common sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
I feel that.
I would not be a common sense thing.
I
to
feel
me,
it. I feel it. I feel that though.
You know?
Yeah.
But how do you actually break down common sense?
So I went to the interwebs and I looked up
Oh,
the common
yes.
sense definition.
Okay, let's hear
The
it.
dictionary says good sense and sound judgment in practical matters. That's
Practical matters would all be perspective as
a
well.
common sense approach to things. Yeah. So it's just your derived
It's all perspective.
views of, yeah.
It's what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. However, there are many people in this world, like you and I,
Mhm.
that share similar perspectives, I guess, and mindsets in that we both agree these things are common sense.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
if that person doesn't do that, they lack common sense.
I mean, I'm sure there's even like generational common sense.
Yeah.
Like what makes sense to people in their 40s doesn't make sense to people isn't common sense to people in their 20s.
Oh, definitely not, especially now
Right.
in today's world
Isn't that
with
wild?
our lovely social media. That is crazy, though. That's a crazy thought. That is a crazy thought.
Common sense is a wild concept.
It is. It is. One of the other kids had said consideration and like work ethic.
Work ethic.
Yeah.
Interesting. What is their definition of work ethic, I wonder?
Well, I
Just like people showing up and, clocking
Like,
or coming back from break.
doing their
and-
job.
yeah.
Like Gracie has a very good work ethic.
Mhm.
She works at a daycare, so hallelujah for that. Like that says enough. A lot of patience. But like Gracie's a doer at work, like she's always been a hustler when it comes to that. Like she does her job,
Right,
and she
right.
does it well. And she gets irritated when people don't do their jobs, or follow through with what they're supposed to do, and she has to pick up slack, and similar things that we've experienced in the workplace,
Yeah.
Jaden struggles with that as well because she is also like a doer. Like she doesn't like to just be standing around. Like if there's things to do, she'd rather be doing them,
Right.
but then she's always the one doing them.
So therefore, nobody else has to.
Right.
Yeah.
And then nobody else is doing anything on their shift. Jaden's doing all the things.
Remember that feeling?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
100%.
I felt so bad because she was talking to me about that the other night, and I was like, I feel you,
I've
girl.
been there.
Because I'm like, oh.
There'll be
I'm like,
times when I'm walking in with just a clipboard just full of write-ups, and I'm just like, is anybody else going to play this game?
right.
Anybody? Anybody else?
Anybody else gonna write anything up today?
Gonna touch any of these cars?
Bro,
Yeah.
like sometimes we would look at our tickets at the end of the day and we'd have like 40, 50 each.
Mm-hmm.
And other people would have like 7.
Yeah. Like, this is
Like you helped 7 people today.
job.
Okay.
I'm glad you met your allotted
Great
requirement.
job.
Yeah.
I dealt with 47.
and my
and
customer
plus-
service scores suck.
Plus, like people don't understand, like that doesn't include all the carryovers.
Yeah, all the stuff that you told would be promised
that
the
we've
next day.
had for days prior to
Yep.
those daily appointments.
Yep.
But yeah, work ethic I think definitely has changed. I wouldn't say
I can see it.
it's changed. I wouldn't say it's disappeared because I know that there are still hard workers out there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But I've been seeing something, and we may have talked about this briefly before. I've been seeing a lot of posts and a lot of these like little like community like city groups of people
Mhm.
where they're trying to get jobs. Even Jaden, like she's trying to find another job because she just wants to work more hours. And where she currently works is like retail at the
so
outlets.
it's only like 4
They're on
hours.
like weird
for 2
hours right now.
weeks,
They're
yeah.
only open till like 7 or 8 at night, and she wants to work longer shifts, make more money.
Right.
But a lot of people are saying that they are applying everywhere to all these places that say that they're hiring, but they're not getting any calls back. They're trying to follow up. They're not getting any information on the follow-ups, and like it's just a struggle.
Yeah.
And then I'm seeing like employers
Just desperate for people.
desperate for workers.
Yeah, we're desperate for
But
workers.
I'm like, where's the disconnect here of like what's happening?
The way that the resumes are being processed. That's also something that has changed gradually over the last 10 years that no one's really noticed. You know how hard it is to apply for a job now?
I
You
do
can't just
because
show
Jaden
up
tells me
With a piece of paper
Yeah.
anymore saying, hey, this is me. You have to
No.
fill out this whole thing and you have to go through the company's website and then hope someone's checking those emails that day.
Mhm.
And even still, I was digging into the death of the resume on my socials a little while ago and found that eventually it's no longer going to be a resume because the resumes are getting faked.
by AI.
Yes, and they're getting just like mass bombed, and like
then
companies
people are hiring-
Companies are struggling to filter through what's fake and what's actually people.
There's programs that can do that though.
More, yeah. I
There's
hear
AI
that, but
programs
I'm
that can
sure,
detect
I
the
know, I
AI.
know. See, that's fucking. It's that word again. So they want like videos. They want like, hey, this is Jessica. I am applying for your warranty position, and I am a stand-up
I kind
gal.
of like that though.
Yeah, so do I. So that you can see that I'm real. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like, you know that this is me.
yeah.
And I mean, or just like Zoom calls. Because I've
Yeah, for
a lot
yes.
of hiring processes happen
Via Zoom.
Via Zoom.
That's really cool. Yeah.
interviews,
Jaden
yeah.
Okay, first, when she got her first job, she was only like 14. That was super easy. It was McDonald's.
Right.
She did like the QR code. She scanned a QR code on the freaking door, and that's
Fill
how
that in
she
the
got
app.
the
Yeah,
job.
yeah.
Yeah. But when she was trying to move out of, fast food, we went around. First of all, I had helped her fill out probably like 8 different applications online,
Mm-hmm.
which I can attest is
Not the same.
easy to do, because a lot of them will send you to like a third party freaking website, and it forces you to make like an Indeed account or whatever, all those stupid things, right?
Yeah.
No one
So
needs to
dumb.
do that.
No.
one needs to do all of that. With all of those, like that first batch that we sent out, we got 0. She got 0 phone calls back from them.
Jeez. That's rough.
Whenever she would try to call, like no one knew the hiring process
Right.
at the places that they called. The management would be like, oh yeah, it goes through our automated system, or, sometimes, just takes a while. Like she would just keep getting like BS answers.
The automated system is what's killing
And
the
she
job
was getting
market.
so frustrated. She's like, why can't I just go in and talk to someone?
Because that someone is
And
not
I'm
the
like,
person that's
I
gonna
know.
hire you.
I was like,
man.
I know. I was like,
That
I get it.
sucks.
I was like, when I was your age, we could do that. We could go in, we could handwrite our freaking application right then and there. She's like, I want to do that. And I was like, I know.
Poor thing.
But when she got this job at Lucky, we walked around the outlets and went into every single store. And she was like, asked them, like, are you guys hiring? Do you have an email of the manager that I can email my resume to directly?
Right.
Is what she would ask.
Smart.
Instead of going through the roundabout freaking thing.
The
And some of the
website.
places would
Yeah.
make her do that, but they would also provide like the manager's email. So that she can like have a freaking contact person.
It's like, hey, I filled out my resume online.
Yes.
Looking forward to your response on this.
Yeah.
That's really smart.
And she, it
Yeah.
ended up working out for her, but now she's trying to find a second job, and she's running into the same issue of like no one getting back to her, not being able to get any information, and like she's a good worker, she's a hard worker,
Yeah.
and like I know that there's people, teenagers and adults out there that are trying to find new jobs or different jobs or whatever, and they're struggling, and it's crazy to me because I'm like,
I've seen that a lot in my socials too.
why?
Yeah. It's like
There's people out there that want to work, and you have employers.
there's a bucket of people and there's a bucket of
and-
people, and like they could pour into each other nicely, but there's
Like,
a fucking wall somewhere.
What is going on?
I
Like,
don't know.
is there
Well,
that much
it's
of
the
a
automation
separation
process. It's the automation process. It's the whole. It's
AI.
because the top comment on that silly Ask Reddit thing that I sent you about what the whole topic was, the availability to search stuff on the internet.
I saw that. That was a huge
That was
one.
huge. And it was huge to me too, because I remember back in the day when I could Google something and get the result that I wanted.
The actual result?
Yeah.
Yes.
And like I wouldn't just get bias confirmation or 80 different ideas. But the issue, I mean, I brought this up to my husband as well, and this is kind of what he expounded on, was that even now when you Google something, you get an AI response.
Yeah.
So to back that up just a second, I notice now when I Google something, I get not websites that respond to what I want. I get websites that are sponsored, websites that are paid to be at the top of my list.
Mhm.
And so what is AI doing? AI is just generating a response from these top picked websites.
Right.
So
And
who's
if
ever
you-
paying to play to be in the top spot is whatever AI is generating your answer from.
Correct. And if you notice on the Google AI overview,
Mhm.
it has like a little link on like it'll like say
It'll-
something.
It'll take you
It'll
to
take
the
you
web
to like
page.
the web page, but the web pages are sometimes weird as hell. Have you ever clicked on one to
Yeah.
like get more information and
Yeah.
like verify the source? They're not always verifiable,
No.
which is scary.
Because basically what AI is doing is they're taking a conglomeration of like the same common thread from these 3 pages,
Mhm.
saying that the majority of the information is on this page so I can give you a source,
Right.
and just coming up with an answer. And I'm
Mhm.
worried about the fact that these 3 pages are the ones that paid to be there first.
Right.
And their information might not be the information that I'm looking for, might not be the right information, might just be someone trying to
Some
sell me
random-
a garden hoe and I'm trying to buy a
real.
plant pot. Like,
Exactly.
let's be real. It's discouraging.
It is discouraging. Also, I've been seeing a lot of things about like it doesn't really matter to us because we're way out of school aged years.
Right.
But like with AI and stuff, there's so many AI programs out there now that can like write papers for you and like take your class notes, which I'm okay with taking the class notes because that shit's hard to do, you know? But like, I think it just opens the door for too much like things to be messed with and not organic content created by students, if that makes sense.
I mean, remember when our teachers were trying to get us to stop plagiarizing things?
Oh, yeah.
Because what
like when I was in college, we had to like
Wikipedia was just a baby.
we couldn't use Wikipedia.
Well, I
as
mean,
a
I'm sure they're
source.
told not to use AI, but
We
they
couldn't use it as a
fluff
source.
it and buff it just to make sure, you know.
But like, you know, like it sucks because I think AI is good, can be good and used for a lot of good things and beneficial to a lot of people in a lot of different areas of life, right? Like you can type into ChatGPT what you have in your fridge and all your freaking cupboards and ask it to create dinners for you for the next 7 meal nights, and it will might not be what you like, but
That's convenient.
it will do it, and you can tweak it from there.
Huh.
You know what I mean?
I had not thought to use that for that.
Yeah, like see, random shit. I had not. I saw someone else do that actually,
Right,
and I was
right.
like, "Ooh, that's a good
Ooh, wait a
idea. I'm gonna
minute.
try that and see what
Hold the phone.
I'm gonna try."
Hmm.
But like things like that, I think is cool. You know, like
Yeah.
I use AI a lot in the video world and editing and stuff like that. You know, I think it's great, but like when it comes down to like people being able to create organic things, like in school or in work or whatever, like look, if you don't have a good resume, figure out how to make one.
Right. If you don't know how to make yourself look good on paper, figure it out.
Because it's not that
Basically.
difficult.
No.
And like, okay, it's not difficult. And everybody that's in like our generation and above
It's like because it's common sense to
like
us and not to
did
them.
that. Like
Yeah.
we did that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And I don't think it was you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Like hindering us in any way. Like
no.
you know what I mean?
Well,
like
because that's just, excuse me, that's just the way it was.
yeah, that's just the way it was.
That's just the way it was.
there was no other alternative for us.
There was no automated system for my
No.
resume to bounce around inside of in order for it
No.
to get viewed by the guy that's going to hire me at the store.
by the AI robot.
Yeah.
To
no.
maybe send it to an actual human. Like this might be a good
I
candidate.
mean, I just want to work at Steve's, you know? I mean, it
like
doesn't-
how hard is it?
it's wild.
It
I
is
mean,
wild. I feel bad for the people out there that are genuinely trying to like find good jobs to support their families and they can't.
I appreciate the advancement in technology, but I'm kind of nervous by it.
It's nerve-wracking because I think that it was like it was kind of gradual, but then it was just like bam.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden it was like
This is it now.
it's here and everywhere. Like, okay, that's great, but like
I don't like it.
in this Earth timeline that we're in right now, there's a lot of freaking people that aren't able to use that type of technology in the right ways or for the right reasons
Well-
or trying to manipulate it to get yourself a better job, even though when you land the freaking job, the employer is going to realize that you don't know shit. And then you're taking that away from somebody else who actually could do that freaking job. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think that is the tale as old as time.
Yeah, but it's different when you are the one, like, I feel like when someone creates and makes themselves look good on paper themselves,
Yeah.
it's like, it's legit. They're taking like pride in that in a sense, you know?
Right, because you have ethics
Right.
and morals
People.
and values.
oh, yeah.
But there are other, I mean, have you ever lied on a resume?
I mean, I fluffed it
I've,
up.
I've fluffed a
I've
resume
fluffed
to
it
make
and
myself look
exaggerate
way better than I
yeah.
actually do.
I mean, everybody does.
but then once I get
to an
in,
extent.
I sit down, shut up, and do the job, right? And then if
Exactly.
they don't like it, then they get rid of me. and
it's
it is
one
what
thing
it is.
it's one thing to fluff things up
Mhm.
and make it look prettier, and maybe you
I see
might
what you're
add in a
saying, but
couple
these people don't have any skill sets and they're applying for these
Right.
jobs. I gotcha.
They're using AI to try to land these freaking jobs.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
oh, That's gross. Don't do that.
Yeah, that type of shit
No.
is not okay.
Yeah, no.
I don't think that's okay.
No, it's not.
Don't do that.
I don't agree with that.
Not cool.
Mm-mm.
Not okay.
Dang.
Yeah.
What a great topic.
What a great rant that was. So we've concluded that common sense is all perspective.
Mhm.
What else? Oh, one
Things
more
aren't
thing.
built the way they used
Yeah,
to be.
things aren't built the way they used to be. I'm not gonna like rant on the thing, but like climbing the corporate ladder
Oh yeah.
is also something that it kind of like falls in line with everything we kind of talked about.
Right,
But
yeah.
that doesn't really exist anymore
No,
either
it doesn't,
as
does
much.
it?
No. Like when I was growing up and like venturing out,
Mhm.
like
That was how we were told that's what we were supposed
yes,
to do.
like I climbed my way through the auto industry from a little baby receptionist to a service writer and many things in between that.
That's a journey.
You know,
Mhm.
like there's a lot that happened in between all of that.
Oh man, yeah. No, I kind of did the same thing. It's
You
very
know?
similar. Yeah.
But like I climbed my way. Like I remember when I worked at BMW, I went to my GM and like asked him for a raise.
Dang.
Like
Look at
he
the
hired
set on
me
this one.
and then like we had like a set of goals that we were doing
Mhm.
and it was one of those situations where they had the corporation that owned the dealership wiped all the employees except for like 5. And I was like one of the new hires during this whole revamp
Grenading
Mhm.
process. Nice.
And we were trying to get survey scores up and stuff like that. So like my main focus was to customer service, make people happy,
Right.
get the scores up.
Right.
So within the first year of being there, we got our scores up really, really high.
Nice.
And so I remember talking to my dad about it and he was like, talk to him about it.
Mhm.
Because my GM had told me in a year, if our scores are better, you can come talk to me for a raise or whatever.
Nice.
And I was like, all right, bet. And so like I did. And I was like so scared because I was only like probably like 20,
Fair.
maybe
Yeah.
19, 20.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he ended up giving it to me. But like that was like the first time where I was like, okay.
Where you've
like,
ever had to advocate for yourself?
I advocated for myself, got what I wanted, and he actually ended up giving me more than what I had asked for.
Nice.
And so that was like a huge, like one of those moments where I was like, all right, I see how this corporate world works. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, all right,
Yeah.
do the thing, right?
That's so cool though.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna wrap up now, I think,
Oh.
because we're at our time, I think.
Bye, guys.
So common sense again,
Common sense is not common, but
Not
it's all
common.
perspective.
it's all perspective. So weird. Manners and politeness.
Manners are important.
Be freaking nice to people, okay?
Be nice.
Be nice.
Be nice.
Watch your tone.
I will not.
I will not either. I will try. I will not make any promises, but I will try.
Ah, see how long that one lasted? Sorry. Things aren't made the way they used to
Things
be.
are not made the way they used to be. It's hard to find a freaking job, and people don't work like they used to anymore.
Yeah.
Sad, sad. What is our world coming to?
I don't know. Something new and
end.
exciting. Something different.
Something different.
Something different.
Something's gonna happen.
Yeah, like tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yay. Oh boy.
man.
Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Please make sure to hit that like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
If you didn't know, we do release episodes on a weekly basis every Thursday at 7 p.m. and
The
we do
premiere.
premiere them on our channel. So please definitely hit the subscribe and make sure you hit the little bell for those notifications so you can get the notifications when we do go live on the premiere, because then you can chat with us
We're live in the chat.
in the chat. And it's super fun. So please make sure to join us for those. Thanks for hanging out on the Ultimate Bestie Hangout. We'll see you next week.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.